Hello, and in this video I want to give you a very practical strategy to deal with foods that you have no stop button for. So I'm talking about foods that you just keep having more and more of and you eat until you're full. Now the strategy I'm going to share with you here, it doesn't work for all of these foods, and to be honest, there may be some foods that really you might want to just try eliminating for a while, that they may change your brain chemistry to make you much more anxious and moody and hormonal than you might otherwise be. And it's not a good strategy for foods that you eat every day. The example I'm going to give you here is with roast potatoes. Now I eat roast potatoes maybe once or twice a month, and they're an integral part of my Sunday lunch. So what happens with me and roast potatoes is I'm absolutely compelled to just keep eating and eating them until I'm feeling really, really full and there are none left. I'm not very good at sharing them, and but I refuse not to make them because they're a really important part of Sunday lunch, and if you live in the UK you'll know exactly what I mean. So here's how I deal with my roast potato problem, which still allows me to have them. So the first thing I do is I make less of them than I would otherwise. Obviously, if you're having a big family dinner where you want to offer your guests lots of food, this strategy isn't going to work, but this is something to have on like that you might have on a regular basis just with your family, for example. So what I do when I'm peeling them is I'll count out and I'll work out exactly how many roast potatoes everyone's getting, and then serve everyone their portion at the beginning except for me. And then this is what I do, because the crux of my problem is that after I've eaten I have to keep going back and getting more and more and more. Now my dining room is in my kitchen, which makes it really hard to not go back. So what I do, I work around it, you see. So when I serve up my first portion of Sunday lunch, instead of putting 5 or 6 roast potatoes on my plate, I might put 1 or 2. So I have those, and then I go back for more. So every time I go back, I just go back for 1. So in the course of a meal, because they are really hard to resist, I might go back 3 or 4 times. So in that way, I still have my behaviour, which I find hard to control, but I end up eating the same or maybe a bit less than I would have if I'd given myself 5 or 6 roast potatoes. Then when I'm clearing up after lunch, I find it really hard to resist going back and having more. And so what I've done is I clear up and then I say to myself, okay, you can go back for more, but you have to take them upstairs. And so I finish my Sunday lunch upstairs away from the kitchen. And even though there might still be roast potatoes left, I'm very good at just leaving it and not wanting any more. So there's some ways that you can change your environment and plan ahead to deal with those foods where you feel you have no stop button for. As I said, this is not a cure-all, and it's not applicable for some foods which you're eating on a daily basis, but for those things that you might eat once or twice a month and you still want to enjoy, it can really work. So I hope this has helped. This is Harriet from The Shift Inside, and I'll see you